you. It's not because they're mean, it's because they haven't been trained yet. They need to be trained first. All right, those are the two main things that make a parrot different from other birds. Lots of other things that make them interesting. The first thing that usually comes to mind when we start talking about parrots is the fact that many can learn how to talk. Now, we like the fact that they can talk. It's made them popular, it's made them famous, but it's not what makes a parrot a parrot. There are many other species of birds that can learn how to talk. Crows, blue jays, starlings, magpies, lots of them. And not all parrots will talk. But it is fun. So would you like to hear a parrot talk?
Yes.
Would you like to hear a parrot talk?
Yes.
All right, let's see if we can get somebody to talk to you. Come here, Forrest. All right, how many people here saw the movie Polly? That's it? The second best movie ever made, and that's all of you that saw it? Polly's a fantastic movie about a little blue crown conure, just like Forrest right here, that gets separated from its owner, finds his way home again. They did a wonderful job with the movie Polly. If you haven't seen the movie Polly, I highly recommend you go out and buy or rent the movie Polly immediately. Second best movie ever made. I'm talking to the audience, that's what I'm doing. What kind of bird are you? Are you a pretty bird? There you go. What's your favorite game? Peekaboo. Is it a fun game? Alright, there's Forrest. Alright, Jack, come here. Alright, here we have Jack. Jack is a 24-year-old blue and gold macaw, also from South America. Jack's been doing this with me ever since she was 2 years old. She's got a few things to say to you. Let's see if we can get her to get going this morning. Ready, Jack? Alright, here we go.
How are you?
Alright, Jack, how are you? Come on. Jack's having a dumb attack. Jack.
How are you?
Alright, Jack, how are you?
Alright.
Alright. You're mumbling. You know you could mumble that. Say, good bird. Yeah, I love you too. That's not what I want. Well, let's do it right. Jack. You're hot today, aren't you? Let's do it.
How are you?
Alright, Jack, how are you?
Alright.
Alright, good bird.
Good bird.
There's a good bird. I said I love you. There you go. Everything a parrot says has a meaning. May not be the same meaning that you and I have for those words, but it has some kind of a meaning. When a baby parrot grows up in the wild, they have to learn the sounds that their flock uses to communicate. Each flock of birds has its own group of sounds, kind of like its own little language, and the baby parrot has to learn those sounds as they grow up in that flock. When they grow up in our homes, they learn some of the sounds that we use to communicate. It's a very similar process. It's a very natural process. But they don't always get the meaning for those words the same way you and I have for them. Sometimes they get the meaning close, and when they do, it can be kind of fun. When Jack says, I love you, say it again, say, I love you. That means, give me that. Which is pretty darn close to what you and I mean. We say, I love you, isn't it? Anyway. Now, we like the fact that they can talk, but they can also do things with their voice that we do not like. For instance, they can be very noisy. If Sunday right here were to stand on this lady's shoulder and scream as loud as Sunday could scream, that'd be like somebody putting a trumpet right there on her shoulder and blasting it right towards her head. You think she'd like that? Sunday can make enough noise, Sunday could actually cause her to go deaf. So think about that. If you lived in an apartment, you brought a big bird like this home, do you think your neighbors would like that kind of noise living next door? Probably not. So it's very important that you think about the needs of an animal before you take the animal home. Every animal has special needs. Would you go out and buy a horse and keep a horse in an apartment? Of course not. Horses have special needs, right? So do parrots. Unlike a horse, many of these big birds up here could live to be nearly 100 years old. 100 years, that's a long time to take no more apartments, isn't it? It's a big responsibility. You need to know that before you take them home. You'd be amazed how many people go out and buy a big bird like this thinking, oh, isn't that beautiful? Wouldn't that look good in the corner with the sofa and the drapes? They don't have a clue what they just took home. A couple years later, they call me up and say, hey, I got this bird. He's ripped up my sofa, he shredded my drapes, he screams all day long. Do you want this bird? And I've had over 100 birds like these given to me by people who couldn't take care of them anymore. Mainly because the people didn't understand the needs of the animal before they took them home. Every animal has special needs. You need to know about those needs before you take them home. It's actually where we get most of our birds. People give them to us. We have about 130 right now. All right. Where'd my sun conures go? Come on, Snake It. Come on, Dodger. Come on, Dodger. Come on, stick it. Come here. Come on, it's your turn. Today would be nice. Come on, Dodger. Come on. Come get it. There we go. All right, do we have an adult out here with a dollar bill they don't need anymore? Hold it up in the air. Hold it up in the air, let them see it. Wave it around a little bit. Come here. Where are you going? Come on, lazy bird. All right, be that way. There's another one. Come on. Come here. All right. Come on. Come on, lazy. All right, be that way. There's another one. Go get it. Wave it around a little bit. Go on. Oh, he's going to go get that one. Missed it. Came back empty. What's up with that? What kind of pirate bird are you, anyway? All right, bring it on up here. Come on, bring it up here. Come on, Dodger. Come on, Dodger. There you go. All right, do we have an adult out here with a 20 they don't need anymore? Seemed like a good idea. Worked so good the first time. Anyway, we'll give everybody a chance to do the dollar bill trick again at the end of the show. I know everybody loves this trick. I love this trick. I like it so much I want to make sure that each one of you gets a chance to do it at least 5 or 6 times.
You missed the 20.
All right. Let me introduce you to a couple of blue throat macaws. Come here. Dreadful, Gleam. All right, here we have Dreadful and Gleam, 2 blue throat macaws. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, wait a minute, I thought you said those were blue and gold macaws. These are blue throat macaws. They're actually different species in the blue and gold. Jack is a blue and gold macaw. If you look at them carefully, you will notice some differences. The first thing you'll notice is that they have more lines on their face. They look like little mascara lines, actually tiny little feathers. They have no green on their forehead up here. They've got the characteristic blue underneath their throat here. They're a little smaller bird than the blue and gold. And they have a little different color blue, a little more of a teal than a bright blue like Jack is. Anyway, the blue throat macaw is the most endangered species of macaw remaining in the wild. There's about 450 blue throat macaws left in Bolivia, where these guys come from. They are not, though, the most endangered species of macaw. That would be the Spix macaw, of which there are none left in the wild, and only 78 individuals left in the world. The blue throat, though, is not on the verge of going extinct because there are lots of them in people's homes. So if we did lose them out of the wild, we could start a breeding program easily enough because there's lots of them out there to select from. Anyway, would you like to see them do their thing? You ready? All right, go on. There you go. What are you doing landing up there? That's not where you're supposed to land. All right, Buckle, you want to make a run with him? All right, here we have Buckle. Buckle's a shamrock macaw. Buckle was given to us when she was 4 days old by a breeder who had to be out of town, couldn't take care of her. Anyway, she's a cross between a scarlet macaw and a military macaw. Are you ready, guys? All right, go on. She's going to make a run with him. There you go. One. All right, up you go. All right, I want you to notice how far Jezebel can turn Jezebel's head. You ready? Can you turn your head this far? Not more than once, right? When a parrot gets ready to go to sleep, they have to do something special with their head, because if they don't do something special with their head, as they start to go to sleep, gravity starts tugging and tugging. Before you know it, their head's flopped upside down, and they wake up with a stiff neck or headache. And this really does happen. I have a picture of Jack. Took it at a fair a few years ago where Jack fell asleep by accident, and I got a picture of her with her head flopped upside down. This is not the way they normally sleep. What they normally do is they turn their head around, they tuck their beak behind their wing. That keeps their head from flopping upside down like this. That's why they tuck their beak behind their wing, to keep their head from flopping upside down like this. This is an issue because they have more bones in their neck than we do. They have 14 bones compared to our 7. Does that make sense? You have more bones in your neck, you can turn your head farther? Yeah, do bones bend? No. How come you can turn your head farther if you have more bones in your neck? How come you can move your arms and legs? The joints, the spaces between the bones, right? So if you have more bones, you also have more joints. It means you can turn your head farther. All right, so let's get everybody here to be a parrot for a moment. I want you to stand up. We're going to go to sleep just like a parrot would go to sleep. Hands behind your back. Parrots don't have hands, do they? They have wings. Where do they keep them? Behind their back. Hands behind your back. All right, your other back, sir. There you go. All right, very sleepy parrots. Here we go. Got your hands behind your back. Next thing you're going to do is turn your head around and put your chin right in the middle of your back. Yeah, right. I know you can't do that. Go ahead and pretend and put your chin on your shoulder. You're going to find out that's tough enough. Chin on your shoulder, now close your eyes, and slowly lift one foot straight up and put it up against your knee and go to sleep. This is the way parrots sleep, standing on one foot with their head tucked around behind their back. If you had to sleep like this tonight, would you be ready for tomorrow? Not a chance. All right, go ahead and sit down before you fall down. Think about a parrot sleeping on the top of a tree with the wind blowing, making the tree sway in the breeze. They have a wonderful sense of balance. I actually got started doing public appearances with parrots because I had a blue and gold macaw like Jack right here. Her name was Jeremy. And Jeremy would ride around town with me on my shoulders. We cruised around Walla Walla, Washington on a motorcycle. People would see that and track me down to college, wanting us to go to their kindergartens and daycares and nursing homes. And when he hit the front page of the local newspaper that we were making these appearances, I had so many people calling me, it kind of got out of control. So I became a pirate instead of an electrical engineer. Anyway, people would always ask me, doesn't it hurt that bird clamped on your shoulder like that? Actually, it didn't hurt at all, because Jeremy did not use her claws to stay on my shoulder. She used her great sense of balance. She'd simply step forward on my shoulder, leaning into the wind. We could cruise around town 30, 40, sometimes 50 miles an hour together, and did so for many years without any trouble. You have a wonderful sense of balance. Now, I had to teach Jeremy how to ride on my shoulder like that, but her natural great sense of balance made it possible for her to learn how to do that. So don't go home tonight and put your bird on your shoulder thinking you're going to go cruising around town on a motorcycle. There was a training process involved in that. All right. One more thing I want to tell you about, then we're going to let you hold and pet some parrots. And no, I don't have Jeremy anymore. Jeremy went with my ex-wife, so it happens to pirates too. Oops. Yeah, marriage is grand. Divorce is 100 grand. You laugh. Ours wasn't so bad. We didn't have any kids involved, just parrots. There are advantages to having parrots instead of children. There are no college funds to save for. You can lock them in a cage, it's legal. You can sell their kids, this is a plus. Anyway, out of the 350 different species of parrots that we have in the world right now, about a third of them are considered endangered species. Most of the rest are considered threatened species. There's lots of reasons for this. The biggest reason has to do with the rainforest being cut down. I'm sure you've heard about that. Lots of rainforest gets cut down every day, and there's lots of reasons why the rainforests are being cut down. Most of those reasons have to do with little tiny things. Little things that people do as they go through their day, little things that people don't think about. Because if we did think about these things, we could change some of them with a fairly small effort. Let me give you an example to show you how this works. How many people here like soda? You know what this can's made out of? Aluminum. Did you know that most of the aluminum that we use in this country comes from South America? Not all of it, but a very large percentage of it. And in order to make aluminum, it takes a tremendous amount of energy. So we make great big dams so we can make electricity to make aluminum. You need, excuse me, then you need lots of stuff to make it out of, lots of raw materials. So we make great big open pit mines so we can get bauxite and other things to make aluminum. And all of this takes up lots of rainforest. That means if you drink a soda or a beer and you throw the can into the garbage, guess what you're doing? You're helping cause some rainforest to be cut down. Doesn't seem like a big thing, does it? Just a little can in the trash, no big deal. But if enough people do that, it has a big effect on the world we live in. Now, how do you turn that into a good thing instead of a bad thing? You recycle it, that's right. Now, recycling paper, plastic, and glass, these are good things also. Recycling aluminum, though, especially helps animals like these that live in a rainforest environment. And by the way, it only takes about 5% of the energy to make aluminum from recycled materials as it does compared to raw materials. That means for the same amount of energy it takes to make one can out of raw materials, you can make 20 out of recycled materials. And that's a big difference. All right, now what I want you to do is get your finger out like this. I want you to imagine that you're loading your finger with an aluminum can that came from South America. And when I put Jezebel on the dock up here, I want you to point your finger at Jezebel. I want you to go bang one time. Got your finger loaded? Point your finger at Jezebel and go bang. She's been watching old John Wayne movies. It takes a while for the bullets to hurt you. Alright, now I have Jezebel do this for a reason, and that is I want to make sure that you understand that every time you throw away an aluminum can and don't recycle it, not only are you helping cause some rainforest to be cut down, but in a way what you're doing is you're pointing your finger at a bird in the wild and you're going bang. Are the birds in the wild pretending like Jezebel? No, they're not, are they? This is for real. There are real animals out there that your life has an effect on. Whether you like it or not, you have an effect on these animals. The question becomes what kind of effect you want to have. Do you want to have a good effect or a bad effect? That's up to you. Who decides what happens to the man when you drink a soda? You do, right? No parents, no preachers, no teachers, no politicians. Each one of us has to do our part. Is that good? Don't spill it. You're making a mess. She says, you do that good without lips. You about done? Come on. You about done? Nope. Alright, recycle the can. You done? Come on, Jezebel. Not done yet. Alright, recycle it. Come on. There you go. Alright, let's do some questions. Anybody out here have questions they want to ask about the birds? Let's do some questions. Questions? Did I see a hand? Oh, looked like it. Well, back here, questions. All right. What is your question?
Birds get a cold.
Can they get a cold? Well, yeah, they can feel down like that, a little under the weather, but typically if they get a cold, you're not going to know it. Right? Because think about this, these are prey animals. Right? So they work very hard to avoid letting anybody see that they're not feeling well. Because in the wild, there are no nursing homes and no retirement centers, right? If you get a little off on your game, somebody has you for lunch. If you get a cold, you're a little off on your game, somebody's looking to have you for dinner. So you don't want people to know that. So if you got a cold, you want to suck it up and act like normal so nobody can tell you've got a cold. So yes, they can get colds, but you're usually not going to see it. You have to watch them very carefully to see if there's anything going on different if they're not feeling well. A lot of times, by the time you see that, there's something serious, right, where they're going to let you see it. All right, other questions? What is your question?
How does pollution affect the animals?
Well, actually, there's a reason why we used to keep canaries in a mine shaft, right? Because their respiratory system, actually their